So some time ago, there was this original video that Blessing sent to me. See, Adeshola sent me original video, and I saw it, and it was talking about sizing people up and different stuff like that. And I was telling him that, irrespective of how you feel or what you think is right or wrong, it's just what this life is. That's the way it operates. That's how it works. And it's not just here in Nigeria as it is. It's everywhere. So why my emphasis will not really be on sizing people up, my my emphasis today will be on what is called leaders please meet your mind. So my emphasis today will be on what is called sensation transference. And sensational or sensation transference simply talks about what people perceive and they transfer it to make up what the value of the thing should be. And as I explain further, you will see why I had to start from the video I was talking about that Blessing sent. Okay, so in that video, I was actually talking about what happens. Let's say you go bid for a contract, you go ask for a project, and you say the project is this amount, and people look at you and they use it to determine if they are going to give you that contract or not before they even listen to your presentation. And it gets even worse that when people even listen to your presentation, they follow you to your park as you're about leaving their premise. They follow you to see how you're going to exit the place. If you're walking out or you're going out in your car, if you're going out in your car, what kind of car are you going out in? And they look at all of those. So your presentation can be very good and they've decided that you're going to do a great job. And then when they see how you are leaving the environment or how you came in, they use it to determine if truly you deserve being given the project. Now, a few things around that is people look at it, and I've heard Terry Cornelius talk about that same thing. I've also seen additional talk a little about that part. And I will touch on what each of them say, then I will go to that sensation transference. Is when people come to you, let's say you're bidding for a project of 100 million, and you come, even though you are best qualified, you know everything about the project, and you are so promising that there is almost a guarantee that you're going to deliver 100%. If you are bidding for a project worth 100 million naira, and when you go there, you go in a car that is, say, worth a million naira, say 2 million naira, there is high probability that you're not going to get a job. Very high probability that you're never going to get a job. Not because they hate you, not because they dislike you, but because they look at everything and they sum it up in that the reason you are still this humble or the reason you are here today is still because you have not seen enough money. Or let me put it in a better way, that your appearance that they see as of that time, they cannot vouch for it. They don't have evidence to back you up, telling them that this is your true self. Because one thing it communicates is there is a probability that you have not handled such money before. So first of all, they don't want you to use their money to learn or discover yourself. They don't want you to use their resources to learn character. They don't want you to use their resources to build your reputation. That is when you come to them, they expect you to have a level of reputation already, a level of character, and your character, before anybody even sees it, is summed up within the first 5 seconds you appear before them. And that goes into how you dress, the kind of car you drive, the kind of perfume that comes out of you, that's oozing out from you, and the kind of gadget you use. And that's how interesting it is, right? This is talking about you presenting yourself, and people can make such a sum total of you from just seeing you within the first 5 to 10 seconds, even though they don't know any other thing about you. But that's how powerful it is. So people size you up, people believe, and when it comes to your character, people try to see if what you're displaying is genuine or not. So if you're coming for a project, say 200 million naira, and then you come in a car that is worth maybe 2 million naira, in fact, you know the kind of car that is worth that amount now. So when they compare that, they look at it that there's no assurance that this guy has handled this kind of money before. And so if we give this guy, what is the guarantee that he's going to deliver on our job and he will not go and use our money to go and build his life? So that is that. So people size people up. And you can also tell from your own experience how you have looked at some people and you say, this person cannot do this. You don't know them from anywhere, you have not had any relationship with them, but just by their appearance, you look at them and you say, no, this person cannot do this person can do this. And that works also in real life, especially in the business world, also in the interview you go, right? In fact, there was one interview I did and I'm beginning to think that I think one of the reasons I lost out on that interview was because at the point I stammered. I was stammering at a point when I was trying to find the right word to use for them. So all of those things go into how we choose who we work with. And even goes into the kind of relationship we get into. Of course, it becomes a different thing when we now experience these people, when we now come in contact with them and we see how they do things and the kind of thing they do. There may be a change of mind. Most of the time, we don't have the opportunity of having them experience us to the extent that they have a change of mind. Most of the time, the decisions are made within those few seconds. If somebody said if you're pitching your business, you have just 7 minutes to tell them everything they need to know to convince them to invest in your business. And when it comes to appearance, you have about 7 seconds to actually convince anybody that you're worth listening to, that you're worth talking to, that you're worth working with. And so, when additional talk about this thing, he talks about you dressing the part. Because this is what people will use to judge if you deserve their project, you deserve their kind of business. Why is that? Is because when they look at you, they want to know if what you are saying is matching how you appear. That is, I don't just tell you I can do a project of $1 billion naira, and then when I appear to you, I come on a bike, and then I'm still fighting the bike man on how much he's supposed to give me and how much he's supposed to take, and different other things like that. So if that happens and they get to see it, really, it's automatically to a large extent disqualifies me. Even if they give me the benefit of that and listen to what I have to say, what they have seen will have more power on them than what they hear. So that's the way it works. For those of us who are in business, and when I say business, either you are managing a product, you are producing a product, you are producing a service, anything at all that has to do with you selling something to people. That is, you're selling an idea, you're selling a service, you're selling a product in any form. This is also true. Or most of the time, it might not be specifically about you and the product, but about the product and the value the product carries. And that's where sensation transference comes in. Till tomorrow, before you decide how good an iPhone would be, first of all, the graphics would have killed you. You've seen it, you've loved it. You've seen how sleek it is. You've seen how clear the display is. You've seen how beautiful those things are set when you see the pictures and everything. So before they even tell you what that iPhone can do, you already imagined in your own head that if this thing is really this cool in appearance, then it should be this cool when it starts working for me. And that's why product managers and product designers will always be relevant. I'll give you an instance. There is in the US there are two sets of wine. One is very much high quality, very good, very fine. Like the taste, the quality, everything about it is just top notch. But it's a wine, but the bottle, all this kind of red wine, right? But the bottle with which they pack it does not really connote red wine. Like it's not really the kind of bottle where you find red wine. And then there is this wine that is not exactly good, but was packaged in a bottle that is common to red wine. High quality bottle, well-designed, standard one. And people started buying this second wine over the first one. And so the people selling the first wine, which is original, good quality and everything, they started making their research that why are they losing market to this other wine? They made their research about taste. They saw that their own product is better than this second wine. They made research about quality. They saw that their product is better than this other wine. They look at almost everything, and their product was beating this other product again and again, hands down. And then the question continues. So why are we losing market to this other wine? And when they start asking customers, and people began to tell them, well, at any point in time, your product is good, it's okay, but really we cannot really buy it and present to people. And that's why. If the quality is good, if the taste is fine, why can you not buy it and present to people? They said the value the brand name communicates. If you give it to people, they won't see it as valuable because of the bottle in which you pack it. And imagine. So if let's say you want to give something to your mentor or a prospective client, you want to give them a good wine to impress them. Before they drink the wine, their judgment about the wine is first made in the package of the wine. And they start asking, what kind of bottle, what kind of package do you think this should be in? And they start showing them series of bottles of wine that carry serious value. And then the people in charge of the wine wanted to find out if this is true. So they pour their wine inside the bottle of the second wine that was taking their place in the market, just to do experiment. And they gather people and they said people should choose. Every time they pour their own wine inside their own bottle, people ignore it. Why? It's because when they see the bottle, they already make their judgment. And so when they pour their wine inside the bottle of the second wine, people go for it, people take it. Because they believe that that bottle represents what a wine should look like properly. The design of the bottle, the print on it, and different other things connote serious value. So that if you have put something inferior inside, something substandard inside, people will still take it because of a preconceived value that is attached to it. So there is a sensation that it gives them. Just the way you see that fine girl before you even know if she has body odor or not. The way she dresses and everything, you already judge that. No, this one is good. And that's the same way it works with that wine. And so after the experiment and everything, they redesigned their bottle and their wine even sold for higher price. And they did not change anything about the content, about the taste, about the quality. They didn't change anything. All they had to change was the bottle. And then my charge to us is also to be intentional in our outward appearance. Well, let me see. I think most people here dress better than I do. So to a large extent, that message is also for me. But then, why today might not necessarily be about your appearance as it may be. It talks about your communication. How do you say the thing that you say when you are negotiating your deals? Really, you might be afraid of losing this customer because if your price is too high, they might let you go. But there is a way to communicate such that you won't do any extra work, yet they will pay you even more for the same work that you've always done. There is an appearance. So, and I want to give an instance, but the instance is not ready yet. Okay? So, what am I saying in essence is there is a packaging that is required of you for the product or service that you render that makes it come for a premium value. Such that when you speak, when you talk about it, when you present it, before people experience it at all, they already have a level of value attached to it. And I will say this. The people charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for a master class to train you on a particular thing, do you know that many times they don't even teach anything special or different from those doing $10 course on YouTube, on Udemy, on all of those platforms? And if you look at it, the only difference is what they have shown you, the value they have made you to perceive concerning their product and their service. And so by the time they are done, by yourself, you already perceive that this thing is worth this amount. In fact, to a large extent, many times you would have thought of it that this is even worth much more. And because you think it's worth much more, you're ready to let it go. In fact, some people, they don't teach you any different. They just make sure that you come and receive that lecture in a certain environment with certain set of people. And you will console yourself by saying, it's not even about the lecture. but because of the people I get to meet there, exactly the same packaging that is required for your product, for your service to go to the next level. So how do you make people feel? How do people see your product? How do they see my product? How do they see my service? And if you can change how they perceive it, how they see it, then we can rest assured that we can charge higher, way more than we charge presently, and people will still be willing to pay. So that at a point, after your value has been properly communicated, if people are not willing to pay the price you are billing for it, you are charging for it, it simply means you are talking to the wrong audience. So I want us to bear in mind that there is what is called sensation transference. Just the way what you will eat at Sweet Sensation or the place or any other big name in the restaurant may not necessarily be different or taste better than what you eat from any of the bookers around the street. But the reason you would rather go to any of those big names is because of the value they have communicated. It's because of the sensation transference you have for them. You have perceived them, you have seen that, oh, the environment is good, the building is fine, this and that. But after everything, what you want to do is to eat and be satisfied. Right? You want to taste good food. All these women on the street can cook good food, but they have not communicated the value that way. They have allowed you to see that it's not just for you to eat. We have good food here. But those people like Sweet Sensation, they have communicated the value beyond you just eating food. They have allowed you to see the value in eating in the right environment. And that way, you become impressed. And such that food you would have bought for, say, 1,000 naira from the roadside, you can buy it for 5,000 in their own environment. And you still justify that it's worth it. So if those people can do it, who is saying we cannot do it? And so therefore, if we must do it, we must work on the sensations that people get when they relate with us. Because people will buy based on emotions and then justify it logically. We buy on emotion, we justify it logically. And that is why we must also be intentional about our branding, about people we want to sell to, about how our product is received. Okay, I'm doing some things on Glasses Water, and because of places I want to go and present my case, I look at it and I say, if I present to these people and they get my website and it is as it is presently, it won't match. So, and if it does not match, there will be a question on the value that I say I want to present. Because the way I'm marketing it is way too good for somebody to not get to the website and find it the way it is. So we started working on the website. What I'm saying in essence is, know that most of the things people will come to do, with you is based on preconceived idea of what your business is, of what your business is worth, of what your business can do for them. And so it is important for us to intentionally communicate that. I think I mentioned personal branding here before. If we have to go over that, that would be another day. Because all of those things goes into you pressing your manner of speech, how you present your words, how good are they? Your strides, how do you walk there? And the last part, which is very tricky, and I'm just learning that, like serious level. There are certain results you really cannot command if you are still using the word sir and ma. Today is not for that one. We'll come to that, but I'm just letting us to see that there are certain things about your business beyond the work itself that you do that you need to communicate. And when you communicate it, people must see the value matching the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you approach them, for them to be able to release the money you want to collect from them. I hope that has been able to make sense this one. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.